We go.
Welcome to this week's episode of Be Your Greatest Asset, the wellbeing podcast for mums in business and working mums who really want to take back control of their time, find time for their children, their families, their self-care, and all the things that they're passionate about and desire in life rather than just having to do the mundane. So today I'm really happy to be talking to Michelle Sullivan. She is a business development coach, and we're going to be talking about seizing the day, or carpe diem in Latin, as Michelle has shared with me. So, Michelle, a big welcome to you.
Thank you.
I'd like to introduce yourself.
Hello. Hi, Michelle. So yes, I am another Michelle. Although I'm at the opposite end of the country from you. I'm in Bath. But as you can tell from my accent, that's not where I'm originally from. I'm originally from Belfast. And I have spent 30 years as an head of account management for an insurance technology company. But I loved coaching and mentoring. That was the bit I enjoyed more than anything else. In fact, I spent more time preparing for my internal coaching and mentoring sessions than I did for my client meetings. And so I decided a change of career it was in the middle of the pandemic, not a great time to do it. But I thought, right, if I don't do it now, I'll never do it. A bit like carpe diem. And that's what I do. I particularly focus on women who are going through some kind of career transition. It could be coming back to work after a period of absence, after childcare, or just having been out long term for sickness or family reasons, care reasons. Women who have decided, like me, to exit the corporate world and set up their own business. And are typically now thinking, what have I done? I'm not sure I can do that. All the classic doubt and self-doubt that we fall into as women. And then the third one is women that are going through their career, particularly wanting to move up the corporate ladder, but lack of confidence and lack of self-belief is holding them back. So those are the three key areas of women that I work with.
Fantastic. So, I love that you set up in the pandemic. I love hearing stories like that.
Madness.
Oh no, I think it's just so amazing. It's literally taking back control, taking the reins of your own life and saying, you know what, I can do this. When the world feels like it's falling apart around us. My hairdressers is another example. Like they set up a whole salon in the pandemic, and I'm just like, go you, like brilliant. That is it's amazing. That's really seriously seizing the day. So, Michelle, how do we seize the day?
So seize the day became my kind of watch phrase, if you like, after I watched Dead Poets Society with Robin Williams, which is a fantastic film. And if anybody watching this hasn't seen it, I would recommend to watch it over Christmas.
Now.
It is really excellent, but it was one of those ones that when I watched it, I thought, do you know what? If I want to do anything, there's no point me saying, I'll do that next week, I'll do it tomorrow, I'll do it in 3 years' time. I've got to do it for myself, and I've got to take an opportunity as it comes along. But it doesn't have to be something really big and grandiose. It could be the simplest thing, like saying, right, do you know what? I am going to sit down and have a cup of tea and read a magazine, mid-morning, and make that time for myself, rather than think, oh, do you know what? I should be doing the ironing, or I should be making that call to a potential client or whatever.
Yeah.
It's taken that control back of our own lives. I think it's particularly women. We don't do that. Our husbands and our partners are very good at doing the things that they want to do, and we don't. And for me, it's just about saying to women that, if there's something that you want to do, let's chat about it and work out how you can fit that in, be it big or small.
Yeah. And I mean, the women that I work with, the common theme is, but I feel guilty. I feel so guilty about it. And then that comes back down to the
Yep.
not feeling worthy of actually taking that time. I mean, I've just left my family for a whole week, gone back down to Dorset from Scotland. It's the longest I've ever left my boys for. And yeah, it felt really strange, but at the same time felt so liberating. It's like, yeah, go me. Like, this is
Yeah,
amazing. I feel so proud of myself that I've created a life where I can actually do that and seize that opportunity. It's not something I'll be doing every week, but you know, it's nice to have that opportunity.
yeah.
But that was a big thing for me. But like you say, it is the little things, isn't it? It like, we don't even give ourselves the time just to have that cup of tea, that 5 minutes, 5 minutes to be.
It's exactly that, you know. It's easy, you know, to get up in the morning and do all the things that you need to do, be that, you know, get your children ready for school, get yourself ready for work, you know, go through the whole, you know, emotions of the day, meetings, school run, whatever, come back in the evening, do everything that you need to do, and then you crash into bed in the evening and go, I haven't done anything today that is anything that I really wanted to do. And it's something that's, you know, that's really for me. And it's looking at that and going, well, do you know what? There's only I'm in control here, but also, you know, there's only the day only comes around once, if you see what I mean. So yesterday's gone, you're not going to get that back. So how do we make it that we do have time today and time tomorrow to be able to do the things that, you know, that we want to do?
Mm.
And if it's a career, you know, if there's something that we really want to do, I'm very instinctive. I go very lot on gut instinct. If there's something that you really want to do, you know, how do we work out to be able to do that so that you're doing something that you love and you enjoy, not something that you feel you've got to do for, you know. And I know you know, there are times we obviously, you know, we have to do things that we don't necessarily want to do because we've all got mortgages and things to pay, but there's other things that we can do that are enjoyable and make that positive choice to include those, you
Yeah.
know, in our lives as well.
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, it's about priorities, isn't it? Like, actually
Yeah.
starting to prioritize yourself. So, how would you suggest that women begin? Where would they even start? Because I know that our listeners today have no idea where to even start. They've got an idea that they need to slow life down, that they need to find more time for themselves, which that's something else. I don't believe that you find time. You have to create the time.
Great.
Um, and it is based on your priorities. But how can we help these women? Like, what top tips have you got to
So
help?
so one of them that I have, and it's one that I learned from personal experience. So when I decided to leave corporate life, I decided to take a period out before I set the business up and went and finished my qualifications and everything. And I took a few months out, and all of a sudden I discovered that my day was as bonkers as it was in corporate life, and I was sort of like,
Yeah.
what's going on here? And I don't know if you remember, whenever they extended the M25 so that it was 6 lanes on each side of the motorway, and a lot of the what do you call it, the anti-campaign, if you like, you know, all said it's not going to work because all that's going to happen is there's an increased volume of traffic is going to go on to the motorway, and we're just going to get it all snarled up again. And guess what? And
Yeah.
what I discovered was I did exactly that. I suddenly had free time. I wasn't at work from, you know, 8 until 7 or 8 o'clock at night. And I bunged everything else that I could find into that, you know, cleaning the house, doing all the chores. I decided at that point I'd take everything on me
Hmm.
instead of it, you know, having been shared up until that point. And then I had to sort of I got to the point that I just thought I can't cope with this. I really can't cope with this. And I took some time out. But one of the things that my husband and I are really into is we love hiking and hill walking,
Oh, beautiful.
and that's we do all our talking and, you know, and thinking. And when I was out walking one day, and I thought, you know what, I need to step back from this, and I need to look at what I'm doing and go. And you're right, exactly what you said, Michelle. You have to be proactive to find the time. It's not just miraculously going to appear. And I've got a very, you know, perfectionist streak in me, and I want to have everything done and everything done, you know, done properly. And I had to go, do you know what? That doesn't need to be done today.
Yeah.
That doesn't need to be fixed but now. I don't need to read that 5 times and change it 5 times before I post it or do something with it. And gradually started, and the phrase I would use is, you've got to give yourself permission to let it go. So give yourself permission that you don't have to have that task all completed today or all done in the time that you've assigned it. It's that kind of what's urgent and what's important. And we tend to focus on what's urgent instead of what's important. And it's being that proactive and a bit, dare I say, ruthless, to say, right, I don't need to do that. I don't need to do that. And actually, I am going to use this time to do whatever it is, that I want to do, whether it's, look for a new job, or whether it's, just make the time to get out and go for a walk. And as you said about, being away for the week, but even just getting an hour out on your own, away from the house, the environment of the house, just to free your head, is doing that.
Definitely. I mean, the week thing is, I just want to make this very clear, that is unheard of for me. The longest I've ever left my boys before is 3 nights, and that was about 12 years ago. So, and that was the last time I've actually been away for more than a night, really. So for me, it's like almost stealing moments, like joyful moments. So something I did recently, because since moving to Scotland, I've struggled to get into a new routine, because our whole life has been turned upside down, which is what we wanted. Like, we wanted to really feel life, and feel out of our comfort zone. And everyone's like, "Oh, you're so brave," but but yeah. So I've actually written myself a routine out that I've stuck on the fridge now, and it's just 5 minutes. Like, I've dropped the boys down to the school bus and go for a walk for 5 minutes. I also love walking and I love nature.
Yeah.
There's nothing like being in nature for me to really soothe me, soothe my nervous system.
Yeah, totally agree.
Yeah.
Totally agree.
So it's just like stealing those moments, isn't it? It's well, what else? And yeah, just being able to think, oh, the hoovering doesn't need doing. And I had an instant recently where the hoovering, I put it off and put it off and put it off, and it was like another 3 weeks before I did the hoovering.
Yeah.
But I was like, I'm all right with that now. But it takes a lot of practice, doesn't it?
It does. It takes a lot of practice. And I'm just listening at the moment to do you know the historian Philippa Gregory?
Yes. Yeah.
So I went to see her. There's a fantastic bookshop in Bath called Toppings, and she was giving a talk one evening, and I went to her because she's written this fantastic book, Normal Women, which is about women over the last 900 years. Not the usual king, queens and duchesses and everything. This is normal. This is like the matchstick workers, girls working in the industry. And she was talking exactly about that, about everything falls at women's door. We feel guilty then because we're doing something that's for us and not for the traditional role that we get assigned, for their children and for everything. And it's really worth a listen to. But you think, but it shouldn't be stealing anything. It should be that's also our time as much as it is the family's time and relatives' time and whatever. We're entitled to have some time to do the things that that we want to do. And I loved what you said about outside your comfort zone. We should really embrace that. So the first time we prioritize to do things for ourselves, that will be outside our comfort zone.
Yeah.
But you've got to just push through that and go, okay, everybody survived, everybody's okay. I can do a little bit more the next time and a little bit more.
That's it. I mean, I used to work in the travel industry years ago, and if something went wrong with the flight tickets, or the client missed the flights, or they didn't have a meal booked on a certain day or whatever, our motto was, nobody's died.
Yeah.
Nobody, and that's literally a mantra I've carried through my life, through my motherhood now, and I've been playing with it. It's about being curious, isn't it? With like your days, like, okay, I've woken up. Thank you. I've woken up today.
Yep.
I have a blank canvas ahead of me. And yes, there are things that need to be done. You know, you need to eat, you need to sleep, you do need to go to work, you need to pay the bills, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But then what you do around those things, those times, like what you eat for dinner. You know, if you want a sandwich instead of doing a full-blown cooked dinner, then actually who's to say that's wrong?
Yeah, exactly.
So you can squeeze something else in that you want to do. So
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly. It's, you know, I firmly believe, you know, you only get one go at life, you know, so enjoy it, embrace it, you know. It does it really matter if, you know, if dinner, you know, tea isn't ready at the usual time, if it pushes, you know, it's pushed back by half an hour, you know, okay, people, you know, they might be a little bit more hungry than they would normally have been, but they'll be fine. You know,
yeah,
you know, it's it's really, really important. And I think I have made this connection more since the pandemic with the lockdowns. It is really, really important to look after yourself. And it's not a selfish thing, because if you
no,
don't look after yourself and your own well-being, you're no good to anybody else.
precisely. Yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah. I think more and more people are understanding that, especially
yeah,
mums out there. We've got a long way to go, a long way.
yeah.
But it is a lot of it is having the confidence in your worth. And I know that you mentioned confidence in your intro a lot, people having lack of confidence. So what's a way that people can give themselves a confidence boost?
One thing that I'll look at it in two ways. One thing that by default, doing things for yourself gives you confidence in yourself.
Yeah,
Do
yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah,
Giving yourself that time to have that, you know, have that cup of coffee, or go and have your nails done, or whatever. It gives you that bit of confidence in yourself. It's something that you've done for yourself and makes you feel good.
yeah,
So it immediately gives you that sense. The other thing is reframing how we think about ourselves. You know, the language we tend to use about ourselves is very negative. You know, I should have done that, I shouldn't have done that, or, you know, I haven't got time to do that, or that was wrong, or if only I'd done such and such. Start thinking about things differently. Or when it comes to careers, quite often women, we think, I'm not good enough, I haven't got the right qualifications for that, I'm not smart enough. Well, start to flip it round. And a good way to retrain your brain is to write it down to start with, because your way your brain works, when it gets into a mode of thinking, it creates channels in your brain, and that's the way the thinking goes. To break the channel, you have to change the way you think, and writing it down kind of help break that, you know, the way you think.
so
So,
you
you know,
writing the negative thought, like, oh, I should have done this.
and write what the positive should be, you know,
Right, okay,
to the
so
side
write
of that.
negative and then the spin it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then start to rethink it. So in your head, if you think, you know, somebody thinks, well, you know, I'm not good enough for that. No, I am good enough for that. And these are the reasons why. You know, I don't have the right qualification. I do have qualifications, and these are the qualifications that I have. You know, I I shouldn't have had that bar of chocolate. No, I wanted to have that bar of chocolate, and I enjoyed that bar of chocolate. You know,
yeah,
flip
yeah,
the thinking around, and gradually our, you know, our brains start to think of it in a, you know, in a different way. Now, that's not to say that you never have that negative thought pop back in again. We do,
yeah.
but you've learned, you know, you've learned how to deal with it. Oh, you know, if I don't get this done, you know, I won't have, you know, if I don't get everything finished today, you know, that means I've failed, I haven't done what I set out to do. No, I got all the important things done. And that's another good thing, is to look down and go, what's important versus what's urgent,
Yeah.
and focus on the important. And the urgent, you know, the urgent stuff will gradually sort itself out behind that. You'll slot it in, but, you know, sometimes the things that shout the loudest at us, you know, I call it the bell that rings the loud, that clangs loudest. The bell that clangs loudest at you isn't necessarily the thing that's the most important that you need to do.
That's it. That's it. And with confidence as well, I find that, well, so you practice. So the first thing is like making that commitment
Yes.
to yourself, and then the confidence kind of grows and grows, and it like spirals upwards.
Yes.
Um, but then you get more confident to start delegating things to other people.
Exactly.
So for example, I'm quite happy to ask my children to help me hang the washing up, or to empty the dishwasher or whatever. Or if my husband offers to do something, I'll be like, okay, yeah, fine.
Yeah.
Whereas before I was like, no, now I've got to do it all.
Yeah.
So it's an evolution. It's something that grows, isn't it? It's but you just have to make that commitment to
You,
start.
you do. You
Can be
do have to. Yeah.
confident.
Yeah. And confidence is something that grow, you know, confidence is something we're born with, you know, every child is confident, because if they weren't confident, they wouldn't walk, they wouldn't talk, you know, by nature they're confident. Then the nurture bit comes in with, you know, the environment that we live in. Girls should be seen, not heard, behave in a certain way. And no matter how much we think the world has changed, you know, there's a recent, I think it was a ONS report, you know, the bulk of care and household chores still falls to us as women. You
Yeah.
know, it still falls at our door. So the nurture bit comes in, and you think, you know, well, I'm not good enough, you know. Or if you're at home looking after children, you know, and your husband's the main earner, you start thinking, well, I'm not good enough, you know, I'm not earning, I'm not contributing, and your confidence then gets knocked down. So it's helping to build that confidence again, and realize, you know, if the economy in its stats was to put a value on the work that women did as mothers and carers, the whole economic stats of the country would be completely different to where they are now.
Yeah.
There's no value put against it, when actually those are really, really valuable tasks.
Absolutely. Well, it's future generation, isn't it? This
Absolutely.
day. But I mean, I've been through that battle myself, and my husband earns a lot more than me. I've never earned a huge amount. And but then I keep having to remind myself that I'm working part-time. I've been working part-time for many years, um, looking after children, mostly because he's at work. He doesn't necessarily want to be all the
Yeah.
time. It'd be amazing to have that balance, but unfortunately the economics doesn't work right now.
Yeah.
And it's a case of told you I was going to forget what I was going to say. I forgot. Where was I going with that? Yeah, it's just that battle of and learning that actually my work is so valuable with, what we're doing. Like
Yeah.
we are equal in the sense that, we're both bringing such a good contribution for various things, and it's something I've managed to overcome in time, simply by reminding myself, I'm doing a good job, I'm doing my best. And then yeah.
I completely understand that, because I went through the same thing, you know, when I left work, corporate life, to set up, you know, my own coaching practice. And all of a sudden, you know, I wasn't, one of the things I'd always been adamant about, that I was going to earn my own money and it was going to contribute to the household. And then all of a sudden I wasn't. Now, it was my choice to make the change. But what you don't have when you're self-employed is you don't have that salary, you know, behind you all the time. So if you're not working, you don't get paid. And I find that I had a real crash of confidence and self-worth around that as well, you know. And I completely understand that. And it was, again, you know, building it back. And no, I'm doing something that I want to do now. I'm setting up my own, you know, and I called the coaching practice Cridham Coaching, because Cridham means believe in Irish. And it was, you know, I believe in this. I believe what I'm going to do. So I had to sort of step back and look at it again and go, do you know what, Michelle? Actually, you've done really well here. You know, you've left us, you know, a job that you were in, which you were really well respected, to do something completely different in the middle of a pandemic, you know, and go and get retrained you know,
Yeah.
that's not too bad.
Amazing. It's amazing. Yeah. And I think it's important to mention here, it's a whole other conversation, but the fact that we do put a value, like it has to be like a financial value on our worth.
Yes.
Naturally, that's the wrong way in my eyes. It's in my heart even. It's,
Yeah.
our worth is about how we feel. And if we feel empty and not worthy, then that's something we can work on through coaching, through
Yeah.
our
Yeah.
self-development and growth. But we need to stop placing a financial value on our worth, I think. But that's a whole other conversation we could talk about that.
It is. No, but you're absolutely right on it. And I think sometimes as well is the work that you and I do, you know, it's about, because we're both very, very passionate about it, and it's about facilitating that environment where, women can come and have that conversation, and you know and about helping them gain insights, to themselves. You'll be the same as me. You'll have spoken to women who the spark is in there, but just because of everything that's been going on, it's been damped down and damped down. And when you start asking the questions and getting them to look into themselves, you see the suddenly, they light up and their face goes, and I can do that. I've done it before. I can do that,
Yeah.
and it's wonderful. I love that.
It's incredible, isn't it? And then for suddenly they see the how, and like the transformation just in that moment, what that instant when they're like, yes,
Yes.
I'm going to
Yes.
say yes to myself after all this
Yes.
time. But then the changes that then evolve as a result of that single second
Yes.
decision to be like, actually, yeah, I can do this.
Exactly.
It's incredible,
Exactly.
isn't it?
It is,
Yeah.
and it's helping them work out. We were talking about this just before we came on the podcast. There's the how's one element, but it's also helping you understand why in the first place.
Yeah.
Why are you feeling like that? Why are are you losing confidence? Why are you stressing about that? Really helping them to understand, because once you've found the trigger as well, that helps you the next time it comes along to do something, to change your behavior, to do something new that helps you feel more confident, helps you, feel more full of self-belief.
Definitely. Oh, so it's empowering. It's very empowering. Like when you just decide to make that choice to commit to yourself and to grow your confidence and to believe in yourself, believe that you're
It
worthy.
is.
That's
It
amazing.
is. And I'm sure there's ladies watching this thinking, oh, that's easier said than done. And sometimes it is, but that's where the likes of you and I come in, where we can step in there and work, together to help them. Some people it's very easy, other people it takes a bit longer, but we're all pulling together to help each other.
That's it. It has to be a collective effort, because the world isn't going to change just
No.
from one person. Like we all have to
No.
be on board. And I'm so passionate about supporting women, supporting mums, and showing them their true potential. Like I can see the potential as you can,
Yeah.
and it's just helping women believe in themselves, really, isn't it? And
Yeah.
that's incredible. It's magical. I love it.
It is. It is. It is. It is. It is. It's very certainly, I find it very, very rewarding. you
Mm,
know it was I had a coach myself when I was at work, and she completely changed my behavior. I was the one that would sit in a meeting and not say anything. I wouldn't volunteer for anything, that presentations or doing any kind of extra stuff. I just wanted to go away in the background, but I knew that I was capable of more, but I just didn't know how to get it out there. So she helped me, and that's why. And then I started to help more women within the business, and men as well, but it was more women, because they saw how I changed, and that's just become my passion. Is I want to get out there and help more women, to achieve their potential, and gain confidence and self-belief.
that's amazing. And I too have had many coaches as well. So I mean, it's important. Like I've achieved so much through having coaches.
Yeah.
Um, that's amazing. So I'm going to wrap up the conversation now. It's been really great, and I hope that it's going to inspire many women there to go get confident, make that choice, commit,
Yeah.
commit to
Yes.
yourself. And I know that you have got a special gift for our listeners today. And so would you like to share a bit
Yes.
about
So
your work and what you're offering?
sorry, Michelle, I kind of cut across you there. Well, the way I work is if somebody feels that they would benefit from coaching, the way I operate is I have an initial conversation with them. It's usually about 45 minutes, really to get to understand, what their challenge is, what they, what they're struggling with, and also to see whether or not I'm the right coach for them, because it's like everything, personalities are very important, and it's very, very important to find the right coach. So that is something that I do complimentary, and then you can either go, yes, I'd like to work with you, Michelle, or no, or yes, I'd like coaching, but I'm not sure you're the right one. And I have a group of coaches that I work with, that can help with. And then if anyone through the podcast does want to do that, and then they do want me to coach them, then I'd offer a 10% discount on the coaching rate for them. And I think you're going to put my contact
I
details up
will do,
at
yes.
the end. Yeah, more than happy
Brilliant.
to have a conversation on that as well.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Thank you so much. That's very, very kind of you to offer that. Um, and lastly, then, do you have any final words of wisdom for our listeners today before we say cheerio?
Um, well, we've talked about carpe diem. The other thing is
Mm,
have fun. Enjoy life,
I love that.
embrace it, have fun. And as we go into the Christmas period, everybody to have a wonderful Christmas holiday and New Year, and do things that they've been wanting to do. Just go out there and do it and enjoy it.
Make a choice to do something for you
Very
that's
well put,
fun,
Michelle.
that's
Very
funny,
well put, Michelle.
and makes it, yeah, do something joyful. Not just all the things you should be doing.
Exactly. Christmas is stressful enough, so do things that you're going to enjoy and it's going to make you laugh, because laughing's a very good therapy.
Oh, it is, isn't it? Yeah, love a good laugh. I think we don't do enough of it.
We don't.
Oh, well, thank you so much for joining me, Michelle. It's been an
Thank
absolute
you,
pleasure to
Michelle.
have you. And I'll speak to you soon. Thank you.
Okay. Bye all.